don't immediately picture that 4 square, if you will, checkerboard when we say 2x2 matrix. If I say 2x2 matrix, you've already got a picture in your head of a square with a horizontal and vertical line cutting into 4 equal quadrants.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, okay.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I read The Republic, so I know that.
Yeah. So our relationship is truly platonic. That's great. Okay. So for
That was bad.
That's
I'm going
not
to have
in the
to
show
edit that
notes,
out. It
is
was
it?
so bad.
That's not in the show notes, folks. For purposes of our discussion here today, we'll number the 4 smaller squares in the larger square. Okay. We're going to number them as quadrants, 1 through 4. 1 is in the top left. 2 is in the top right. 3 is in the bottom left. And 4 is in the bottom right. It's just like reading left to right and then bottom to, or top to bottom. Okay. Odd quadrants, 1 and 3, are on the left, if that helps you, and even ones are on the right. Okay?
Okay. And then we add the dilemma and the outcome. So we'll put the dilemmas on the left axis vertically.
Right.
And the dilemma is simply, do I be myself?
Right.
Or
in other
do
words,
I
prepare? In other words, ethically prepare.
Right.
Right.
Or do I play the game? Right. Do I engage in all that puffery and all that stuff?
Right.
So the basic left-hand axis here, the vertical axis, do I stay truthful and prepare hard, or do I take a chance and hope that, again, that little bit of puffery will get me what I want and offer?
Okay, wait. Okay. I have to interrupt here real quick and say you're using that word puffery perfectly. One definition out on the web is an exaggeration of praise lavished on a product that stops just short of deception. Just short. And if you didn't know it, folks, the U.S. Supreme Court actually ruled that puffery is legal. I can't speak for anywhere else in the world, but in the U.S., puffery is legal. It would happen so frequently. There was a case brought against it a number of years ago, and Supreme Court said, we believe in the inherent intelligence of the common person, and we think they should know when when puffery transitions into a blatant lie, which is one of the reasons why examples, things like golf balls, they say no one goes farther. They can't say we're the farthest, but they can say no one goes farther, because everybody's golf ball goes exactly the same distance as far as the official rules of probably the PGA allows them to, or the USGA allows them to hit the ball. So this may be one of those subtle cultural cues that leads folks down the path of shenanigans, frankly, that puffery is okay, that interviewing is a place where puffery happens in the same way that TV advertisements are a place where puffery happens. We make the product puffed up. We make it look good. And so in an interview, I can't be as good as anybody would, I can't be as good as they want me to be. I'm fundamentally insecure about myself. So I'm going to puff myself up. And the question ends up boiling down to, do you go too far? Right. Are you just short of deception? And unfortunately, if you're with a skilled interviewer, they're going to draw the line much further away from just short than you might imagine.
Yeah. I'm just marketing myself right, so I can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not so much.
Right.
Okay, so anyway, on the left of the vertical axis, we have our choice, play it straight,
right.
Preparation, or play the game. We'll put preparation on the top. So quadrants 1 and 2, aligned with quadrants 1 and 2 is preparation. And then playing the game is on the bottom of our matrix here, aligned with quadrants 3 and 4.
Right, exactly. Now, across the top of the box, we're going to split the left and right-hand sides of the box based on the question we're going to ask on the top, which is the outcomes, okay? We've got 2 possible outcomes of an interview, right? Offer or no offer. We're going to put our the offer, that outcome, our goal, on the left above quadrants 1 and 3, and we're going to put no offer, the less desirable, if you will, at least in theory, the less desirable outcome, on the right above quadrants 2 and 4. The offer then is odd, so to speak, 1 and 3, and no offer gets even.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So now
I'm reaching. I admit it.
I know. Well, we're trying to describe what appears very simple on a piece of paper. So
yes, exactly.
Okay. So now let's take each of those 4 quadrants in order, 1 through 4, and then talk about what happens in terms of the process and the outcomes.
Okay. This is where we reveal our little secret, our dirty little secret about interviewing, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, goody.
Okay, let's get on with it.
Okay. This is where it gets exciting. People don't know this is coming yet. This is where Horstman's wager gets good here in quadrant 1, and then it gets really, really good in quadrant 4. And now I've built it up so much with so much puffery, it's going to fall flat like a souffle I would make.
There you go,
right,
folks. There is a great example of what not to do when you're interviewing. You'll just disappoint.
There you go. Exactly. Okay, so we've got quadrant 1. That's the case where we have prepared. We've been ourselves. We've been the ethical person. We've done the hard work. We haven't played the game. We haven't shaded the truth in our favor. We haven't tried to make ourselves look good at the expense of an honest man's good night's sleep. I love that John Mellencamp has a lyric from one of his songs, "An honest man's conscience is his pillow." We haven't dodged any questions with half-truths in order to make ourselves look good. We have prepared, because if we're going to be honest, we're going to have to work hard.
And equally as important is in quadrant 1, we win. We get the offer.
Exactly. We do. Indeed, we do. This is the outcome we want, and we've done the right thing, so to speak. It's what most interviewees would think of as the ideal outcome.
You know, that's a little misleading, because there are really 2 ideal outcomes in this matrix and 2 ineffective outcomes. But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, but okay. Before we go any further, though, what would be another ideal outcome? See, people are wondering. I mean, literally, they're going, well, what would be? And I think there are don't you think, Mike, there are some people right now thinking the other ideal outcome is, I didn't work very hard, but I got the offer? Yeah. And that's not the right answer.
No.
The right answer is,
I didn't get the offer.
Because I'm not right.
Because I'm not right for the job. Exactly. Or for the company or for the organization.
Exactly, yeah. But people miss that because they're thinking short-sightedly. Okay, anyway. Okay, so here we are. We've done well. But again, this is where, in Q1, we start revealing the dirty little secret of interviewing.
Okay, drum roll, please.
We say in the interviewing cast that the purpose of interviewing is to get an offer. That's all. Not to take an offer. Okay? That happens later, and it can only happen if you get an offer. But here's the thing, folks. We can't divorce the interview from the process it's a part of, which is going to work somewhere, right? Literally taking an offer and actually going to work. There is something more important than whether one gets an offer from a company. Tactically, maybe your goal is that, but there is something more important than getting an offer from a company. The offer-no offer piece is only the short-term answer to the behavior we're talking about. The real value of interviewing behavior is the likelihood of it predicting and producing a good long-term fit between you and the company which chooses to offer you.
As much as we don't like interviewing, it's still the process of choice. And so we've got to believe it sometimes provides some indication of long-term fit for a company. It's not perfect. It's not ideal.
Right.
But it's better than nothing. And frankly, it's what we have.
It is what we have. Unless you're willing to come up with something better, you might as well, within the system, understand it and work within it.
Yeah, if you come up with something better, you're going to be a very rich person. So go for it.
Yes, indeed. So here's the core of our recommendation as it relates to Horstman Wager. Here's the part that's doable. When you prepare and behave ethically, the result of your interview is not only accurate, it's more predictive of your fit and success with the interviewing organization.
Now, I can see something that most folks listening cannot see. I can see the show notes, and they're all capital, those words, and it's all bold. So it's some pretty serious stuff.
One of, if not the most important thing we say in the cast, do not make the mistake of driving for an offer when that offer may in fact be a poor predictor of your future success because it is based on misleading game-playing behavior.
So the dirty little secret is that it's not just the offer that matters. It's what your behavior and the offer together suggest about long-term fit that are the real key to the interviewing success.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so quadrant 1 is a big win. We prepared, we behaved ethically, and then we got the offer. But most importantly, that offer has a high correlation, relatively speaking, to our longer term success once we accept the offer and show up at the job, to more happiness in the job versus just a burst of joy that you won during the elimination process.
Exactly.
So, what about quadrant 2?
Okay. Quadrant 2, again, same situation. We behave ethically and we prepare, but now the outcome is different. We don't get an offer.
Sad face.
Yeah, sad face. We worked hard and we failed. But okay, did we really? Sure, it's possible we didn't prepare well enough, but that's true of any situation. I assume everyone won't say to themselves, well, I might not win even if I do prepare, so why bother preparing at all?
I think that actually might be quite prevalent for those who don't know how to prepare at all. And, and while this isn't a sales pitch, don't mistake us here. That's why we created the interviewing series, to help give folks the right preparation. I mean, most folks are...
That's a good point. You're right. And let's do full disclosure. This is not a sales pitch. I think if somebody were to listen to this for the first time, they'd say, God, these guys are selling a product. And I would have to say, please call or email or go to the forum, somebody who's been listening for 2 years, and ask how many sales pitches we put out. I can't remember how many caveats we put out to the anniversary casts, for instance, right? I mean, or casts that are not in the normal flow of things, just to help people understand we're not, this is not a normal cast. So we do everything we can to separate the wheat from the chaff, so to speak. You don't have to buy the interview series of casts to prepare. You can do a lot on your own. But separate from that, this concept that we're talking about here, Horstman's wager, is too important not to share. Okay, now to get back to Q2. Many folks would assume that not getting an offer is a bad outcome. But if you've done a good job preparing and you deliver a good interview and you get told no, that's a pretty good sign that you probably wouldn't have fared well in this organization. The organization knows far better than you do what works and what doesn't, and they sense that you're not right. Maybe it's intangibles.
As it so often is.
Yeah, okay. And maybe it's a subtle fit with the boss or someone better skilled in certain places. Maybe you could do the job, but someone else could do it better. Now look, if in that situation that somebody else could do it better, you suggest that the firm should offer you in that case, think about what that would mean if one of my, surely a future Horstman's Law, which is entitled Roles Reversed, okay? Think about what that would mean if roles were reversed. You're the interviewer, and now you have to hire. Morally, you should. You have to hire your fourth choice. How's that for talent management? Makes no sense.
Yeah. So the key learning here is that both quadrant 1 and quadrant 2, with preparation, while we only get an offer in one of those quadrants in quadrant 1,
right,
both quadrants suggest a more effective long-term solution, right? Either get the job, you're right for it, you get the job, you win, or you're not right for the job. I mean, that's the interviewing process is a proxy for...
Point, I'm sorry, I stepped all over you, didn't I? I apologize. The key point there is, if you're only thinking short term, you can't see how Q2, not getting an offer, could be okay. Right? The person who's focusing on short term is focusing on the left side. How do I get an offer, whether I'm ethical or not? When in fact, if you think long term, it's the top of the quadrants. It's both Q1 and Q2 that produce the best long term results.
Yeah, that's a key point. One has to get out of the short term thinking and think of it long term. Right? And long term, it doesn't mean, well, I got 2% more salary or something like that.
Yeah, 2%. Yeah, that's how to make yourself feel better about yourself at night. 2% more salary.
I've seen it.
Yeah, so have I.
It's interesting. I think it will become even clearer as we walk through the next two quadrants. Yes. So let's talk about quadrant 3.
Yeah, okay. Now we have the candidate playing the game. You're shading, you're stretching, you're being clever to look very good as opposed